Valmiki Ramayana, Ayodhya Kanda, Book number 2, Sarga 52, Roman numerals LII 52, The Crossing of Ganga. Soon as the shades of night had fled, uprising from his lowly bed, Rama the famous, broad of chest, his brother Lakshman thus addressed: Now swift upsprings the Lord of Light, and fled is venerable night. That dark-winged bird, the coil now, is calling from the topmost bough, and sounding from the thicket high is heard the peacock's early cry. Come, cross the flood that seeks the sea, the swiftly flowing Jahnavi. King Guha heard his speech, agreed, and called his minister with speed. A boat, he cried, swift, strong, and fair, with rudder, oars, and men prepare, and place it ready by the shore to bear the to bear the pilgrims quickly o'er. Thus Gua spake, his followers all besteered them at their master's call. Then told the king that ready manned a gay boat waited near the strand. Then Gua hand to hand applied, with reverence thus to Rama cried: The boat is ready by the shore. How, tell me, can I aid thee more? O Lord of men, it waits for thee to cross the flood that seeks the sea. O godlike keeper of thy vow, embark, the boat is ready now. Then Rama, Lord of glory high, thus to King Gua made reply: Thanks for thy gracious care, my lord. Now let the gear be placed on board. Each bow-armed chief, in mail encased, bound sword and quiver to his waist, and then with Sita near them hide, down the broad river's shelving side. Then with raised palms the charioteer, in lowly reverence drawing near, cried thus to Rama good and true: Now what remains for me to do? With his right hand, while answering, the hero touched his friend. Go back, he said, and on the king with watchful care attend. Thus far, Sumantra, thou wast guide. Now to Ayodhya turn, he cried. Hence seek with living steeds and car, on foot the wood that stretches far. Sumantra, when the grieving heart, with grieving heart, he heard the hero bid him part. Thus to the bravest of the brave, Ikshvaku's son his answer gave: In all the world men tell of naught to match thy deed by heroes wrought. Thus with thy brother and thy wife, thrall-like to lead a forest life. No meet reward of fruit repays thy holy lore, thy saint-like days. Thy tender soul thy love of truth, if woe like this afflicts thy youth. Thou, roaming under forest boughs, with thy dear brother and thy spouse, shalt richer meed of glory gain, than if 3 worlds confessed thy reign. Sad is our fate, O Rama, we, abandoned and repelled by thee, must serve as thralls Kaikeyi's will, imperious, wicked, born to ill. Thus cried the faithful charioteer, as Raghu's son, in reed his spear, was fast departing on his road, and long his tears of anguish flowed. But Rama, when those tears were dried, his lips with water purified, and in soft accents sweet and clear, again addressed the charioteer. I find no heart, my friend, like thine, so faithful to Ikshwaku's line. Still first in view this object keep, that ne'er for me my sire may weep. For he, the world's far ruling king, is old and wild with sorrow's sting. With love's great burden, worn and weak, deem this the cause that thus I speak. Whate'er the high-souled king decrees, his loved Kaikeyi's heart to please, ye, be his order what it may, without demur thou must obey. For this alone great monarchs reign, that ne'er a wish be formed in vain. Then, O Sumantra, well provide, that by no check the king be tried, nor let his heart in sorrow pine. This car, my faithful friend, be thine. The honored king, my father, greet, and thus for me my words repeat. To him whose senses are controlled, untired till now by grief and old, I, Sita, Lakshman, sorrow not, O monarch, for our altered lot. The same to us, if here we roam, or if Ayodhya be our home. The 14 years will quickly fly, and happy hour will soon be nigh, when thou, my lord, again shalt see Lakshman, the mightily dame, and me. Thus having soothed, O charioteer, my father and my mother dear, let all the queens my message learn, but to Kaikeyi chiefly turn, with loving blessings from the 3, from Lakshman, Sita, and from me. My mother, Queen Kaushalya, greet, with reverence to her sacred feet. And at this prayer of mine, O king, send quickly forth, and Bharat bring, and set him on the royal throne, which thy decree has made his own. When he upon the throne is placed, when thy fond arms are round him laced, then aged heart will cease to ache these bitter pangs for Rama's sake. And say to Bharat, see thou treat the queens with all observance meet. What care the king receives the same, show thou alike to every dame. Obedience to thy father's will, who chooses thee the throne to fill, will earn for thee a store of bliss, both in the world to come and this. Thus Rama bade Sumantra go, with thoughtful care instructed so. Sumantra all his message heard, and spake again by passion stirred. Oh, should deep feeling mar in aught the speech by fond devotion taught, forgive whate'er I widely speak. My love is strong, my tongue is weak. How shall I, if deprived of thee, return that mournful town to see, where sick at heart the people are, because their Rama roams afar? Woe will be theirs, too deep to brook, when on the empty car they look, as when from hosts whose chiefs are slain, one charioteer comes home again. This very day, I ween, is food, forsworn by all the multitude, thinking that thou, with hosts to aid, art dwelling in the wild wood's shade. The great despair, the shriek of woe, they uttered when they saw thee go, will, when I come with none beside, 100-fold be multiplied. How to Kaushalya can I say, O Queen, I took thy son away, and with thy brother left him well, wept not for him, thy woe dispel. So false a tale I cannot frame, yet how speak truth and grieve the dame? How shall these horses, fleet and bold, whom not a hand but mine can hold, bear others wont to whirl the car, wherein Ikshvaku's children are? Without thee, Prince, I cannot, no, I cannot to Ayodhya go. Then deign, O Rama, to relent, and let me share thy banishment. But if no prayers can move thy heart, if thou wilt quit me and depart, the flames shall end my car and me, deserted thus and reft of thee. In the wild wood, when foes are near, when dangers check thy vows austere, borne in my car will I attend, all danger and all care to end. For thy dear sake I love the skill that guides the steed and curbs his will. And soon a forest life will be as pleasant for my love of thee. And if these horses near thee dwell, and serve thee in the forest well, they for their service will not miss the due reward of highest bliss. Thine orders, as with thee I stray, will I with heart and head obey, prepared for thee without a sigh to lose Ayodhya or the sky. As one the night with hideous sin, I never more can pass within Ayodhya, city of our King, unless beside me thee I bring. One wish is mine, I ask no more, that when thy banishment is o'er, I in my car may bear my Lord, triumphant to his home restored. The 14 years, if spent with thee, will swift as light-winged moments flee. But the same years, without thee told, were magnified 100-fold. Do not, kind Lord, thy servant leave, who to his master's son would cleave, and the same path with him pursue, devoted, tender, just, and true. Again, again Sumantra made his varied plaint, and wept and prayed. Him Raghu's son, whose tender breast felt for his servants, thus addressed: O faithful servant, well my heart knows how attached and true thou art. Hear thou the words I speak, and know why to the town I bid thee go. Soon as Kaikeyi, youngest queen, thy coming to the town has seen, no doubt will then her mind oppress, that Rama roams the wilderness. And so the dame, her heart content, with proof of Rama's banishment, will doubt the virtuous king no more, as faithless to the oath he swore. Chief of my chief of my cares is this, that she, youngest amid the queens, may see Bharat her son securely reign, or reach Ayodhya's wide domain. For mine and for the monarch's sake, do thou thy journey homeward take. And as I bade, repeat each word that from my lips thou here hast heard. Thus spake the prince, and strove to cheer the sad heart of the charioteer. And then the royal Gua said these words most wise and spirited: Gua, dear friend, it is not meet that people throng my calm retreat, for I must live a strict recluse, and mold my life by hermit's use. I now the ancient rule accept, by good ascetics gladly kept. I go bring fig tree juice, that I, in matted coils, my hair may tie. Quick Gua, hasten to produce, for the king's son, that sacred juice. Then Rama of his long locks made, and Lakshman's too, the hermit braid. And the two royal brothers there, with coats of bark and matted hair, transformed in lovely likeness stood, to hermit saints who love the wood. So Rama with his brother bold, a pious anchorite enrolled, obeyed the vow which hermits take, and to his friend King Gua spake: May people treasure army share, and fenced forts thy constant care. Attend to all supremely hard, the sovereign's task to watch and guard. Ikshvaku's son, the good and brave, this last farewell to Gua gave, and then with Lakshman and his bride, determined on his way he hied. Soon as he viewed upon the shore the bark prepared to waft them o'er, impetuous Ganga's rolling tide, to Lakshman thus the chieftain cried: Brother, embark, thy hand extend, thy gentle aid to Sita lend. With care her trembling footsteps guide, and place the lady by thy side. When Lakshman heard, prepared to aid, his brother's words he swift obeyed. Within the bark he placed the dame, then to her side the hero came. Next elder brother, Lord, of brightest glory, went on board, breathing a prayer for blessings meet, for priest or warrior to repeat. Then he and car-borne Lakshman bent, well pleased, their heads most reverent, their hands with Sita having dipped, as scripture bids, and water sipped. Farewell to wise Sumantra said, and Gua with the train he led. So Rama took on board his stand, and urged the vessel from the land. Then swift by vigorous arms impelled, her onward course the vessel held, and guided by the helmsman through the dashing waves of Ganga flew. Halfway across the flood they came, when Sita free from spot and blame, her reverent hands together pressed, the goddess of the stream addressed. May the great chieftain hear who springs from Dasharatha, best of kings, protected by thy care fulfill his prudent father's royal will. When in the forest he has spent his 14 years of banishment, with his dear brother and with me, his home again my Lord shall see. Returning on that blissful day, I will to thee mine offerings pay. Dear Queen, whose waters gently flow, who canst all blessed gifts bestow. For three-path Queen, though wandering here, thy waves descend from Brahma's sphere. Spouse of the God, o'er floods supreme, thou rolling here thy glorious stream. To thee, fair Queen, my head shall bend, to thee shall hymns of praise ascend. When my brave Lord shall turn again, and joyful o'er his kingdom reign. To win thy grace, O Queen divine, 100,000 fairest kine, and precious robes and finest meal among the Brahmans will I deal. 100 jars of wine shall flow when to my home, O Queen, I go. With these and flesh and corn and rice will I delighted sacrifice. Each hallowed spot, each holy shrine that stands on these fair shores of thine, each fane and altar on thy banks shall share my offerings and thanks. With me and Lakshman, free from harm, may he the blameless, strong of arm, reseek Ayodhya from the wild, O blameless lady undefiled. As praying for her husband's sake, the faultless dame to Ganga spake. To the right bank the vessel flew, with her whose heart was right and true. Soon as the bark had crossed the wave, the lion leader of the brave, leaving the vessel on the strand, with wife and brother leapt to land. Then Rama thus the prince addressed, who filled with joy Sumitra's breast. Be thine alike to guard and aid, in people's spot, in lonely shade. Do thou Sumitra's son precede, let Sita walk where thou shalt lead. Behind you both my place shall be, to guard thee my Tili dame and thee. For she, the vow, a stranger yet. For she to woe, a stranger yet, no toil or grief till now has met. The fair Videhan will assay the pains of forest life today. Today her tender feet must tread rough rocky wilds around her spread. No tilth is there, no gardens grow. The crowding people come and go. No crowding people come and go. The hero ceased, and Lakshman led, obedient to the words he said. And Sita followed him, and then came Raghu's pride, the lord of men. With Sita walking o'er the sand, they sought the forest, bow in hand. But still their lingering glances threw, where yet Sumantra stood in view. Sumantra, when his watchful eye the royal youths no more could spy, turned from the spot whereon he stood, homeward with Gua from the wood. Still on the brothers forced their way, where sweet birds sang on every spray, though scarce the eye a path could find, mid flowering trees where creepers twined. Far on the princely brothers pressed, and stayed their feet at length to rest, beneath a fig tree's mighty shade, with countless pendant shoots displayed, reclining there a while at ease. They saw not far beneath fair trees a lake with many a lotus bright, that bore the name of lively sight. Rama his wife's attention drew, and Lakshman's too the charming view. Look, brother, look, how fair the flood glows with lotus, flower, and bud. They drank the water fresh and clear, and with their shafts they slew a deer. A fire of boughs they made in haste, and in the flame the meat they placed. So Raghu's sons with Sita shared the hunter's meal their hands prepared, then counselled that the spreading tree their shelter and their home should be. Absolutely beautiful. Footnotes 154.1 Daughter of Janu, a name of the Ganges, Ganga. See page 55. Absolutely beautiful. Heart touching, heartbreaking, beautiful, epic, magnificent, colossal, unique, everything the best. The pastimes of God and Goddess, when they descend to exhibit their beautiful forms and beautiful pastimes. Sri Ramayana. Absolutely beautiful. Amazing. Amazing. Yes, back then the sacrifices of animals were going on during Treta Yuga. This is forbidden in the age of Kali Yuga because of so many reasons. People are too stupid in Kali Yuga, so they cannot do anything. They only can do chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So back then, yes, people were allowed to sacrifice animals, but not in Kali Yuga. And of course, the situation is very dire. Living in the forest, in the wilds, the only food is actually roots, fruits, and the animals they hunt. So these are extreme circumstances. So they are allowed to hunt and have a hunter's meal. In dire circumstances, God showed by example how it is allowed to kill animals to survive. In dire circumstances. Otherwise, people should live agricultural life. vegetarian lifestyle. In general, there is no need for satanic McDonald's and Burger Kings to feed the Goyim sin. Anyway, beautiful. Beautiful. The crossing of the Ganga. Sri Ramayana. Jai Sri Ram. Rama Victa. Ciao.